Alright, 4-color Omnath, green, red Omnath, Omnath lands, depending on what you want to call it. So notable to mention in this deck to start is that there's no Uro in this deck, and that's intentional. So if you look at the deck, if we remove Omnath Locus of Creation, this is a straight green-red kind of land-style deck that is looking to um, draw cards with lithoforming and things like that. We've got Radha, Heart of Keld to pump up large, and we've got Kazuul's Fury to sacrifice it on occasion. That being said, with both Dryad of the Grove here and Lotus Cobra, a double splash on Omnath is not unreasonable. So Nahiri's Lithomancing was bugged yesterday. I believe this was supposed to be fixed with the various issues that they patched. I guess we'll find out. If it's not fixed, we're just going to kind of play around it. So the bug yesterday with this was if you sacrificed a double-faced card, you didn't draw a card for it. So you're supposed to sacrifice, draw a card for each land you sacrifice. And it wasn't working when you sacrificed these. So let's go ahead and jump in and play some games. The one question on my mind is like, what this deck is doing. Is it just worse than the Genesis Ultimatum Omnath decks that we've seen running around? I think there's a chance that it is. Those are playing Uro, and those are going pretty far over the top compared to this. So I'm interested to see if like what this is doing, that those aren't as powerful enough to be worth the difference. Apple Pies, thanks for the 14 months. Welcome back. Load the people's cannon. God bless. The cannon got some upgrades. We're going to play some cannon and some legacy next week, maybe, I think. Captain Jack, thank you for the 28 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Milbot, thank you for the 24 months. I appreciate it. Sure. This is likely to be a 7-mana spell here with Lotus Cobra to ramp us up. Doesn't really matter. We have plenty of colors. Innkeeper here, so probably adventures, I'd imagine. Peace, Space Ace. As of late last night, Arena was working reasonably. As reasonably as Arena gets, at least. Hey, Stormy Waters. Thank you for the 18 months. Welcome back. To answer your question, I don't know. I don't know how standard is. So let's count mana here first. So I have 3 right now. If I crack this fetch, it's 2 more. And then I could play this for 3. So even if I crack this fetch, I can't. Even if I crack the fetch, I can't play either of these this turn. I guess I could play. Huh. Maybe I'm supposed to do this and kill this. I think I'm just playing Dryad. I think I'm just hanging out. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass for now. Might want to cast these as spells. Did I see your bits earlier? When I left for work at 7 a.m., Jeff was streaming Green Black Mecha Godzilla. When I got home from work a minute ago, watching the Red White Party video. Thanks for the content. Hey, thanks for the bitty space. Sorry, I missed that. Mean Deck Mystic Dispute. Yep. I think they're referring to the Guy Rooted deck we played yesterday. I would imagine. Five, 6, 7. So this can deal 5 to something. We're just playing Greenwarden, huh? Oh, Greenwarden lets me play lands out of the bin too, right? I forgot about that. And it doubles them up? Oh, that's hilarious. I definitely did not realize how much mana we were about to make. Why did they print this card? Who thought Lotus Cobra was an okay card to reprint? Have some molten slag. Enjoy. Rocks fall, you die. Yep. Alright, so Spikefield Hazard seems great against the Brazen Borrower Innkeeper deck. Shock does as well. They probably thought I was buying so we didn't have fetch lands. I mean, we have Fabled Passage. Fabled Passage is, like, pretty good. Alright, sure. Fabled Passage still costs 1 wild card. Dusk. Yagami, thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. They do have Dispute up. I mean, if they disputed my Dryad at the Island Grove, that's kind of a win for me, right? Ah, yes. Bounce my Lotus Cobra after it's already produced a bunch of mana. It's a bold strategy. You haven't played Arena in months, but you love ramp decks. Gosh, if you love ramp decks, man, this is Magic's the time for you. Do I Radha to start trying to play things off the top of my deck? I think so. That qualifies. Is Cobra the best dork we've ever had? It's the most explosive dork we've ever had. Definitely generates the most amount of mana in a single turn. Hey, Sutters, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So they're technically missing red mana at the moment. I just smack them for 9. Like they have Storm's Wrath here. I don't think I'm supposed to play out a bunch of stuff into Storm's Wrath. I just like hang out and do nothing. I can kill them next turn. Mr. Bips, thank you for the very generous tier 2. I appreciate the 15 months. Welcome back. So they're still 2 turns off of... They're still 2 turns off of Ugin. Hmm. This can kill Ugin after the fact, at least. It feels like I have a bunch of mana, and I just don't have anything to do with it. Like, I can take a bunch of game actions here, but my game actions don't lead to anything meaningful occurring. Evergreen new format command. Arena is stable as of last night. It's been relatively stable. So I assume they're gonna Ugin and -4. I'll leave him at 3. We can kill him with Shatterskull smashing. Okay, so with another Omnath drawn, we can actually Omnath plus the Fabled Passage plus this. This last triggers deal 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control, so this can kill Ugin. Am I supposed to play this? I feel like I am. Ooh, that's a good one. Now on top. Hold on to the smashing for now. We haven't seen if they fixed Lithoforming Rexbox. I just don't want to leave things to rot in the queue for forever, so we're playing it, and if it's still bugged, we'll just try and play around it to the best of our ability. Yeah, definitely recommend that. People still having issues with Arena. Other than turning it off and turning it back on constantly, I'd recommend pinging them on social media, filling out an official support ticket. So probably want to get set up to Shatterskull smashing at some point. These are red-green. Probably want to play a tapped land here, so we'll start with this. And then next turn we can play Florahedron. Jeff is very good at the supernatural freezing in place thing. You know, hold very still. So hoping to draw a blue source here. Guess I should have been more specific. Wanted to draw an untapped blue source for this. Definitely want to use this as a spell. Not using this as a spell anytime soon. We don't know if they've fixed the lithoforming bug. We're going to find out. They have a deal to here and want to kill my Grove. I think I'm pretty okay with that. Trading this for this plus like a stomp here. I'm at 12, so I can't really afford to just take a hit. Oh, I actually can't cast this yet, huh? So if I play this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Deals X damage, right? You trade up to 2 target creatures and or things. So if I play this, and then I play this. So I can't. So I could play this turn. So what I meant was, I can't play it and before I play a land. I have to play a land to play it, so I can't gain life with it this turn is the thing I'm trying to articulate. Yes, Declan. What's up? Sure. If you don't have a class. Okay. Well, we're gonna find out if lithoforming works here in a minute. Maybe. I guess I could sack non-lands. Six, 7. Alright, let's find out. We should draw 5 cards here. Hey, they fixed it. Yay. What color mana am I making here? Opponent's just conceding, sure. Yeah, Greenwarden was coming. Do 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 do. I don't want to trim too many of my land spells. I think Lithoforming is worse than Escape to the Wilds on average. I feel like I want to fit in the Nectarpot here, but I'm not really sure what I want to cut. I feel like I can't just trim all the Lithoformings. Radha generates card advantage, and this is why, like, thinking through sideboards, it's like, what do our ins and outs look like, right? Because we have all of these, but we also have like all of these cheap things. Can I not submit my sideboard? Apparently I can't submit my sideboard. Apparently we're just not... I don't have time to restart the client either. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's the old companion bug. Well, there's no companion in my deck, so I assume it's not the companion bug. It's fine. I didn't want to sideboard anyways. Joke's on you. It is unplugged, dude. Like, if my controller was plugged in, literally every time I would press the button, this menu would pop up. So you'd know if my controller was plugged in. Arena would let you know. Hey, no boss, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, Florahedron is very, very good. Maul is excellent. We played Red-White Party last night, and honestly, Maul ended up being better than Embercleave. Thanks for the 49 months, Klutz. I appreciate it. You all good for tomorrow still? I assume you would have messaged me if you weren't. So the Maul is a 2-2, gives 2-2 flying burst strike and equips when it comes into play, similar to Embercleave, but it always costs 3 mana. It's a little bit more consistent. You don't have to be attacking with it. Alright, so I need, if I want to deal 5 damage, I need 7 mana total. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4. This makes 5. This makes 6, 7. So if I crack this fetch and I play a land, this can kill both of these. Horn and Armor 8. Hoping that they don't have a fight together. Fight is one. They did not. God bless. Fight is one. Yeah, it would have been the blowout. That's pretty good. This equips for 2 less on here. Dearest Omnath, please take my opponent out back and bury them. Thanks. Oh, Omnath, my Omnath. Don't mind me. I'll just be over here making mana. Things that are perfectly fine and reasonable. Omnath only triggers 3 times a turn at least. At least his design does that. So we're dead to Embercleave, right? If they have that here. And they could have Cleave and Maul, so. Maybe I should have done that. Try and find a reach creature. Oh, right. Now I can play these from my graveyard. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. There might be something to this Omnath card, chat. There might be something to this Omnath card. I think with Double Cobra, we're playing Florahedron as land on one. Opponent found the line, chat. So the 5 months repetition. Repetition. Usernames, chat. Usernames. Taking the good card. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We should all just be happy that they not only reprinted Cobra, but they downshifted it. Because if they hadn't downshifted it, this would have been another 4 mythics for this deck. I think I'm playing this land out of my hand. So I have to decide here. Do I want to prioritize drawing a card with Radha, or do I want to hit for an extra 4 points of damage this turn? Yeah. I'm going to draw a card. This might be wrong. Thanks for the 5 months, Willis. Yeah. Welcome back. I'm excited for the open tomorrow as well. Doing a little bit of a sound check with Corey Baumeister this afternoon. I'll have a short stream again this evening, and then we'll be live all day tomorrow with the next open. Ooh, that's a good one. You may chump block my 8/8. As you will. You're sad you have to decide between the CFB, Pro Showdown, and Hoagland. Yeah, well, my event was on the calendar first. And we'll probably have better coverage. Guriton Sheet, thanks for the 25 months. Welcome back. It's a cutoff to sign up for the open. 30 minutes before. Lithomancing was working today, yes. I mean, you can watch our event while playing in our event. Just not if you're the coverage match. My opponent's deck did a whole lot of nothing and then died. Seems like they're a control deck. They had discard spells and cantrips and stuff while they were doing nothing and died. So I'm going to bring in my extra threats. Trim Hazard. Trim Fury. Howdy, Microbomb. Hold on to this as a spell for now. We'll see. If we keep drawing more spells, if we draw another spell next turn, we'll probably play this tapped. They have a bunch of different cards that draw cards. I think that's probably the best one for them to take. All right, so we drew another land. I think that means I'm going to err on the side of not playing that for now. Because if we continue drawing lands, I'll probably want to cast this as a spell. I think this is more likely to be useful when cast than this. That's close, though. It's our turn to do a whole lot of nothing, but we're going to do nothing while our opponent has Uro. Probably not a good mix for us. It's pretty good. Jace sleeves are sweet. Is Mythgard free-to-play friendly? Not as much as Runeterra, but better than Arena. Their economic model is basically Hearthstone's model. The free-to-play is probably a bit better than that, but the way you acquire cards is like dusting and stuff. I know Mythgard's base set was pretty expensive to pick all the cards up from. I ended up spending a few $100s to get everything. Where's my spreadsheet? What did it cost me to buy into Mythgard? I spent a little over $300 on Mythgard for their base set. Is Artifact still plugging along? Artifact technically exists. Let's say that. Artifact exists. Artifact 2 is in beta. That is correct. That is an accurate statement. Artifact 2 is in beta. That's true. Hex does still exist. To set a low bar, I bet Artifact 2 will be much better than Artifact 1. Unsubstantiate. So unsubstantiate and things like Gadwick, are they more of a tempo deck? Can't be, right? I have had major emotional breakdowns more fun than Artifact. Poor Artifact. Yeah, at the very least, we don't have to get Nissan by Sultai in Standard, so that's refreshing. No Narset, no Croesus, just this guy, chat. Just this guy. 51 weeks, 5 days, 14 hours, 30 minutes, and 46 seconds until we escape Burrow. Yes, Grace is also irritated. Feeling kind of bad that I used the Shatterskull smashing. If I would have played Valakut Awakening, I could have had the Shatterskull to deal with a bunch of their board here. So perhaps I sequenced wrong earlier in prioritizing which ones were going to be important. Optimistically, we won't have to wait that long. Watsu will ban Uro in week 48. I don't think Croesus itself was inherently a problem so much as that Croesus in combination with everything else that went on was just like thoroughly overbearing. Hey, Music Ian, thanks for the half a year. Hope you're staying safe out there wherever you're at. Welcome back to you too, Turtle MTG. Thanks for the 14 months. Standard seemed okay so far. Played 4 decks yesterday. Gonna do 4 more today. We'll have the open tomorrow. Next week, we'll get back to a mix of doing standard and historic. As kind of a generic, as a very unscientific poll, and maybe I should do an actual poll to see how people feel. Splitting my schedule between morning and evening, would we prefer to always have the same format in the morning and always have the same format in the evening, or should I alternate? So, like, should I do all historic mornings, all standard evenings, alternate days, back and forth? Seems fine. Well, so I plan to do both formats daily, chat. I'm just asking, should I always have the same format at the same time of day? So, like, I'm basically planning to alternate. The question is how do I want to do it? Like, do I want people to be able to expect always standard morning, always historic evenings? There's value in the consistency. Someone asked about Runeterra. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to doing almost daily Runeterra stuff on Sunday. Runeterra is still great. I don't plan to just drop that off. Continuing to try to diversify my income outside of just Wizards products seems to be a smart idea and one I plan to continue to try and do. Well, I mean, I'm always going to publish my schedule a week in advance, Black Sheep. So, like, that's not going to change. I'm gonna pull up a calendar and explain what I mean. So I was looking at my calendar and I filled it in last night. Basically what I'm saying is, so, like, here's my calendar right now. I have all historic every morning and all standard every evening. So should every morning be historic, or should it be historic, standard, historic, standard, you know, like alternate back and forth morning and evenings? That's what I'm asking. Do the mythic lands seem to be must crash for standard and or historic? The black, green, and red bolt lands are very, very good. The white one is probably playable. My jury is still out on how I feel about the blue one. Diversify the portfolio. I've heard those words said by adults. Yep. We get to play everything next turn, right? Yeah, I can play all three of these, which is nice. Well, gosh, do I lithoforming now, or do I Radha? I think I Radha. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, Lurking Blade. That's definitely something that has value. Like, people being able to know that I want to save this fetchland chat for after I play World Sculptor. So I want a World Sculptor and then crack this to grow my plant. There's value in people knowing that, like, every morning's historic and every evening's standard. Maybe I could alternate. Maybe alternating weeks is better. So, like, if both formats are reasonable, maybe that's the better plan. So, like, next week do all historic mornings, and the following week do all historic evenings. Well, yeah, no lifetime works perfectly for everyone, Pi. That's the point of doing both, in a way, is being able to give different people stuff at different points. It's a good hit. Now, with Magic having a fresh set release right now, Hexa, I'm not really planning to expand into other card games. I'm really enjoying Runeterra stuff, so I want to keep poking at that. And I want to still do some variety segments. It's also expensive to keep up with so many different card games. I just dumped $300 into Arena for the latest set release. Sure, I understand that, Pi. I just think the consistency is more important. I think I'm going to try alternating weeks. I think that business expenses don't make things free. Business expenses mean that things have like a 25-ish% discount, whatever my effective tax rate ends up being for the year. 25% discount definitely does not, and nowhere near free. Well, Riot really supports their content creators, so I didn't spend any money on the latest Runeterra set. Riot gave me a bunch of wild cards. I think I keep Shatterskull smashing. I'm pretty sure I want to play a Bolt Land on one here. And I think I keep Shatterskull smashing in the dark because if they're an aggro deck, I'm going to want a piece of removal. Isn't there a Magic Creator program and you're not a part of it? It's really funny that you think the Magic Creator program gives anything of value comparable to what Riot gave me. Trust me, again, I don't know how many times I have to tell people this. Trust me when I tell you I understand the mechanics of my job and how these companies work. I am not new. I'm not someone that just shows up and turns on my webcam each day. The Magic Creator program gives you a very if you are one of their featured creators, they give you a very small amount of stuff. It's in no way comparable to what Riot gave me, but they do give you a non-zero amount of stuff for being in that creator program and spamming a bunch of bullshit on your Twitter account. I think I'm okay drawing that. Opponent appears to be playing a deck similar to ours. I think we just go ahead and play Fabled Passage here. Oh, actually, we're not going to draw that if we Fabled Passage, but that's fine, right? I want to go ahead and Greenwarden this turn. And there's an Omnath on top. Nailed it. As a comparison, like what Riot gave me for their set release basically means I wouldn't have to free to play or buy cards on their client for like the next year. The Magic Creator program, when you are one of their featured creators, and you only get stuff if you're one of their featured creators, not just for being in the program. For being their featured creator, it wouldn't even get you half of this latest set release. They are in fact dead. We're gonna activate Radha and kill them. That information feels like it should be protected by an NDA. I actually don't know if the Magic Creator info is protected by an NDA, because I got it from a third party. I didn't sign anything with Wizards, obviously. And for their sake, I won't share who's the third party that gave that to me. Daniel, thank you for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, so opponent is, we're playing a pseudo mirror here. I think Spikefield Hazard's actually incredibly important in the mirror because being able to kill opposing Lotus Cobra seems incredibly important. See, the American First educational initiative that Donald Trump is pushing. Yes! That is a key part of how fascism retains power. Gotta have that national pride, chat. What was it Riley Knight? Someone retweeted 2 screenshots of... Yeah, Riley Knight on Twitter this morning. Posted this, comparing it to what China's Communist Party is doing. Hey, thanks for the 13 months, Misha. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Do I want Valakut Exploration here? I'm not sure that I do. So Sandiaz, Dryad of the Grove. Hopefully we draw another green source on one so we can cast this as a spell. I guess that's technically a land. Alright, I'm gonna Fabled Passage for Forest, then we'll go Bolt Land Florahedron on 2. I think it was Trevor Noah had the best. He has such good takes on Twitter. On the patriotic education stuff, he's like, and they dubbed it the 1776 Task Force because the 1984 Task Force was taken. Joke's on you, opponent. I didn't have a second land to play this turn anyways. Neener, neener. That's true, Metsu fan. American education as is already incredibly whitewashed in many ways. History is written by the victor, as they say. Barr literally said that in an interview like 2 months ago. Yeah, I mean, they're not stupid, chat. They're just evil. They know what they're doing. Who is Victor and why does he get to write it? Alright, so definitely want another green source here for when they eventually kill this. Do I Omnath this turn or do I escape the wilds? I want to try and escape the wilds. Try and get some more land drops into play here. Well, that certainly qualifies as getting land drops into play. I think there's a good chance that a lot of the discussion about Trump being on some kind of uppers is probably correct based on the range of how he is during interviews and stuff. How medicated he is likely impacts what he seems like during those types of things. How's this deck been performing? Our deck has felt very reasonable. Powerful busted ramp thing still good in Magic. So now I have to decide, do I want to get Omnath down and start getting triggers with it, or do I want to turn Timber Symbiosis? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8, 9 lands for the turn here, potentially. You think I just do this because I'm going to lose it otherwise? Okay, and... Do I just take the Ancient Greenwarden so I can triple Omnath triggers next turn? A few states started voting staying. The lines are already huge. That's great. Hopefully my mail-in ballot gets here soon. Plan to get it by mail and then drop it off in person. This block might be bad because they probably have Lithoforming in their deck. So maybe I'm just supposed to take 6 so that way they have a hard time Lithoforming they can't Lithoforming my entire board. Isn't November like a while away? It is, but early voting is going to be really important. There's a pandemic going on. In case you were unaware. Ooh, that's a Lotus Cobra? I'm going to make a little bit of mana this turn, chat. Wait, is that how that works? Oh, that didn't do what I was expecting it to do. I thought it was gonna double the end of, I guess that makes sense. I was expecting to gain 12, make lots of mana, and deal 12. But I guess that's not how that works, right? Well, I know Omnath's number of triggers. I was just expecting it to copy this is the first trigger, this is the second trigger, this is the third trigger. So Ancient Greenwarden actually doesn't seem very good in this deck, huh? Like, this doesn't really meaningfully help this card. Yeah, I understand why it did what it did, but just like looking at these cards together, I don't know why this is in this deck. I guess is my point. 5, 6, 7. plus lithoforming the whole deck. Yeah, it's probably what we're doing, right? $11, $12, $13, $14. How many lands do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 lands, so we could do this for X is 10. Oh, I should have floated mana there, technically. Alright, and now I get to replay the lands from my bid. Right. Yeah, who's excited to play this on mobile, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna play my Cobras out. Don't worry, chat. Don't worry, we're gonna get there. I needed mana. I don't remember if I boarded out the Fling, and Arena's a release-ready piece of software, so I actually can't check my sideboard. Radha pumps herself up. Yeah, she pumps up the jam. Man, chat, look at this super keepable 7-lander. These cards are sick. Ooh. Play one of these out. Probably keeping the other two for now. 7 lands, 4 spells. Exactly. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I put this into play, if Lotus Cobra lives, I can Turntimber Symbiosis next turn. Yeah, I'm not supposed to attack here in case they have flash creatures. Also a Reap deck, got it. Hey, Nindadar, thanks for the entire year of support. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Why did they nerf Harrow? That card is not strictly worse Harrow. It's just different. As is often the case, things are generally just different. Hey, Cannon Gear, thank you for the 13 months. Welcome back. Just keeping me around. Get censored. Rude. Yeah, in general, I'm not a huge fan of Magic Online Firelash. We're going to do one set of Moto games next week at some point, because I had someone donate for Legacy Belcher with the new split cards, but yeah, in general, not a huge fan of that application. So, like, my dislike of Moto isn't even related to the quality of the software, because, like, Arena has plenty of bugs too. My issue with Magic Online is largely the lack of an auto tapper and how it handles its clocks. The average match speed on Magic Online is glacially slow. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. I could Spikefield Hazard this and then Shatterskull Smashing to exile. I think that's the play. That's true too. Teferi's still legal in Pioneer, so I think even if we had it on Arena, I'm not sure I'd really play it. I don't really have a desire to ever play against Teferi Time Raveler ever again. Goodbye, Uro. And if they have a counter, they have a counter. We can play around another sensor. We cannot. So are we not playing Uro because we don't like it? What card should I cut? Why is that the cut? Please explain. How would you change my mana base to account for the fact that you want me to play a double blue card? Please explain. I think the Rogue deck has felt like one of the more competitive decks we've played so far. It felt like it had a lot of good tools present in it. Well, we're not playing 4 copies of Greenwarden, so... I don't know, like, and again, like, we were talking about, is Greenwarden worthwhile? Like, did y'all watch that game we just played before this where Greenwarden went absolutely insane? Like, that game wouldn't have been possible without Greenwarden. Hello, tiny child. I did. It is in my deck queue already. As always, lots of great things in the Hooglandia deck queue. Like, again, talking about Greenwarden has a lot of excellent synergy with Lithoforming, right? So, like, okay, there's, like, we Lithoformed, and now, like, I get to play all these things out of the bin, and now it makes 4 mana per land. So like again, this is why you'll often see me when I talk about cards that I expect to be bad and articulate why I expect them to be bad, people often are like, well, why don't you just cut those cards, Jeff? And it's like, well, sometimes they surprise you. There's an angle that you don't understand by just looking at what's going on. And Magic has so much going on average that there's no substitute. There's no substitute for getting experience. You need to actually do the work and play the games. Like this turn, for example. Also, like, I can cast this spell, but I don't have any cards in my hand, right? These are Escape the Wilds cards. These are lands in my graveyard that I can play with Greenwarden. No, Arena's run perfectly fine today. Well, as fine as Arena runs. Hmm. Do you think my opponent's having fun? I hope they're having fun. I do, in fact, only have one more basic in my deck. Are we the bad guys? Yes. Unequivocally. Actually, my opponent's playing Uro and we're not, so I'm pretty sure we're the good guys. Actually, now that I think about it. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll do this for X is 10. I should have checked to make sure that there were enough cards in my deck. All right, so like, who's ready to play this game on mobile, chat? I can barely play it on my actual computer here. Mobile by the end of the year, chat. Mobile by the end of the year. Oh, good. And now it's making me click resolve in between each one of my triggers here because so many triggers have gone on the stack that that's what it automatically starts doing. It makes you start clicking OK. So now you have to take an extra game action in between each one. We're gonna kill them this turn, don't worry. I hope. Oh, good, another Lotus Cobra. That is definitely what I needed. Yeah, we have a fling in our deck, chat. Oh, and I should play Radha so I can play lands off the top of my deck, right? Oh, am I out of ways to draw to that fling, though? Oh, I can technically play another Omnath, right? Oh, I want to wait. I want to wait until the top of my deck is clear, though. I have a Triome I can cycle too. Yeah. Oh, I can shuffle my deck with Fabled Passages. Also big brain plays. What's our clock looking like? Irrelevant. Alright, there we go. There's the fling. Hold on. I'm gonna skip resolving these Lotus Cobra triggers here. Alright, there we go. I can skip the extra busy work here and just throw the giant thing at their face. You have any clue what turn that was? It was pretty deep into the game. We did the thing. I feel like we can call the deck a success regardless. Things are accomplished. Do I assume they're a Lotus Cobra deck as well? And Borden Spikefield Hazard? I probably just assume they're a Lotus Cobra deck, right? Valakut Exploration sounds potentially reasonable. Every green deck should probably be a Lotus Cobra deck. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, seems good. Card styles are very expensive, chat. I am done spending money on card styles. The rare card styles are like $10. I mean, I never really spent much of my own money on card styles. A lot of the card styles we have were because other whales donated. Ooh, it's only $2. That's exciting. Definitely not blocking. We're a much better Lotus Cobra deck than they are. Alright, so Valakut Exploration is pretty good here. So I think I'm going to fetch around them having a sensor here. Hey, thanks for the sub gifties, Vixed. Hope you're staying safe out there. Get a shiny Cobra. Sounds good. So they played the Censor Landfall card on us last game, so I'm going to play around that here since I have the capacity to. Does Lotus Cobra sweep the legs? It really does. It's a decent one. All right, let's start with this. Is that a good one, chat? What do we think of that one? Brought that in for the Lotus Cobra mirror match, chat. Nailed it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can play this Greenwarden if I crack these fetches. So if this runs into a sensor, it's not a big deal because we're going to lose it next turn anyways. Oh, Shark Typhoon eating my Lotus Cobra. That's sad. It's probably fine though. They're pretty far behind, right? I will say I do like that our deck feels powerful without Uro in it. That's nice. Oh, right. This is triggering twice. That's hilarious. I was like, why do we keep drawing 2 cards? Right, because this is triggering twice. That's excellent. So, I have Lithoforming here. Do we just Lithoforming? I think we just Lithoforming, right? I guess I don't have Lotus Cobra, so we don't go quite as crazy. Yeah, maybe it is just Radha. Oh, if I Lithoforming the Valakut would kill them. That's fair. The thing is, if they can take Radha off the table, they could also bounce Exploration most likely. I suppose they're not dead if they have Shark Typhoon this way. If I go for the Valakut kill, they die through Shark Typhoon. They're still pretty dead either way though, right? Like they're taking 7 here and then they're taking 4 more at end of turn. Wait, are they dead? They're dead anyways, right? I crack this Fabled Passage and they die? No, I'm 1 short? Opponents decided they could no longer win. Let's buy the Lotus Cobra that someone donated for before I forget. So, I hope after that second to last game especially, people kind of understand why Greenwarden is in the deck. So, this deck is doing something that's different from... What this deck is doing is different from what the Genesis Ultimatum decks are doing, but it's doing something similarly powerful. Omnath is just kind of a good value card. It's a free roll mostly. Like, our deck is mostly green-red, but like, the pathways give you extra colors very cleanly. Dryad and Lotus Cobra make extra colors of mana. Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't... Like, thinking on, like, if I was like, okay, I want to put Uro in here, I don't even really know what I'd cut. Or, like, I'd have to adjust the mana. I kind of felt like what we were doing was fairly cohesive without it. I don't know that I would try and like mess up the mana in the core to make that change. Definitely feels like there's something powerful here, specifically Lithoforming with Greenwarden and Lotus Cobra lets you put churn through a lot of your deck. Very, very powerful, which is great. All right, we are going to do a second standard deck this morning. We're going to do another landfall deck, but one that looks quite different. Actually, no Lotus Cobras in here, so I'm going to hit a quick ad roll. I get everything set up and flipped over. We'll be back in just a few minutes with some Aquum Hellhounds and some Ember Cleaves. So be back in just a few. Thanks for hanging out today, folks.